So good morning once again. Good morning to all of you. So this is the in this class we are going to derive the thermal efficiency of Brayton cycle. So in the previous class we have derived the thermal efficiency of Otto cycle, thermal efficiency of diesel cycle, and similarly Carnot cycle. So let us see in this class how to derive the Brayton cycle thermal efficiency. So here, so derive the thermal. The question will be like this: derive the thermal efficiency of Brayton cycle or Joule cycle. So for this Brayton cycle or Joule cycle, so we have a small description. So first point is what? Brayton cycle. This is also called Joule cycle. Another name of the Brayton cycle is Joule, or another name of Joule cycle is Brayton cycle. And based on this Brayton cycle, turbines and compressors are working. So these turbines are generally we use in power plants. So well known example for the compressor is in our houses. So we are using a refrigerator. So in the back of the refrigerator we will see the compressor in black color. So that is a compressor. So generally, so turbines based on this Brayton cycle, turbines and compressors are working. Next, third point is that this cycle consisting of four thermodynamic operations. So they are adiabatic compression process, that is 1 to 2, constant pressure process, that is 2 to 3, adiabatic expansion process 3 to 4, constant pressure process, that is 4 to 1. So let us see how to draw the PV diagram and TS diagram by using these four operations. Let us see. So first one, PV diagram. So this is our PV diagram. So how to draw the PV diagram by using these four operations? See, first, what is the first operation? Adiabatic compression process. So in adiabatic process, the line should be curved line. So this is a curved line. 1 to 2 is a adiabatic compression line. This is a curved line. So compression process, in compression process, the arrow symbol must be towards the vertical axis. Okay, this is our first process. And second process is what? Constant pressure process. In constant pressure process, the line should be perpendicular. Constant pressure line should be perpendicular to pressure line or vertical axis and parallel to x-axis. So here pressure at P2 is equal to, sorry, pressure at point 2 is equal to pressure at point 3 should be equal, P2 is equal to P3. So this is our constant pressure line. And third process is adiabatic expansion process. In adiabatic process, the line should be curved line. So 3 to 4 is the curved line. So 3 to 4 is the curved line. Expansion, right? Why? So how can we say it is an expansion process? The arrow symbol must be away from the vertical axis or downward. The the arrow symbol must be downward direction. That is a symbol of expansion process. So 3 to 4 is the adiabatic expansion process. And last one is constant pressure process, that is 4 to 1. In constant pressure process, the constant pressure line should be perpendicular to pressure line or vertical axis parallel to x-axis or volume line. So here the volume pressure at P1 is should be equal, pressure at 1 should be equal to pressure at 4, means P1 is equal to P4. This is our PV diagram. So from point 4, draw the imaginary line. This is a volume V4, this is our volume V3, V1 and V2. So if you observe all these volumes, so V4 is higher than V3, V3 is higher than V1, V1 is higher than V2. Okay, so see here, this is our PV diagram. And coming to the TS diagram, so let us see how to draw the TS diagram by using these four operations. First operation is adiabatic compression process. So in adiabatic process, in PV diagram, it is a curved line. It is a curved line in 1 to 2 process. So in adiabatic process, it is a in PV diagram, it is a curved line. 1 to 2 is a curved line. In PV, this is in PV diagram. So in TS diagram, it should be straight line. It should be straight line. So in adiabatic process, entropy is constant, means S is constant. Entropy at point 1 should be equal to entropy at point 2. So S1 is equal to S2. Okay, right. Next, coming to second process, constant pressure process. So in PV diagram, it is a straight line. A straight line means in TS diagram, it should be curved line. 2 to 3 is curved line. So it is a constant pressure process. Okay, right. Next, third process, the adiabatic expansion process, that is 3 to 4. In PV diagram, it is a curved line. 3 to 4 is a curved line. It in adiabatic process, entropy is constant. That's why in TS diagram it should be straight line. So here once again 3 to 4 is a adiabatic expansion process. It is a curved line in PV diagram. If it is curved line in PV diagram, it should be straight line in TS diagram. It is a straight line T3 from point 3 to 4. So means in adiabatic process entropy is constant. So entropy at point 3 is equal to entropy at point 4. Next last process the constant pressure process, that is 4 to 1. So here if you see constant pressure process in PV diagram, it is a straight line in PV diagram, means it should be curved line in TS diagram. 4 to 1 is a curved line. So this is our constant pressure process. So if you observe the all the temperatures at point 1 this is temperature T1, at point 2 this is temperature T2, point 4 this is a point temperature T4, and at point 3 this is a temperature T3. So if you observe all these temperature T3 is higher than T4, T4 is higher than T2, T2 is higher than T1. Okay, so entropy at S1 should be equal to S2, entropy at S3 is equal to S4. This is our TS diagram and this is our PV diagram. So once again observe all these volumes. V4 is higher than V3, V3 is higher than V1, V1 is higher than V2. So this is our PV diagram and TS diagram. So by using these 4 operations. Next, coming to the second slide. So how to write the total work transfer and heat transfer in different thermodynamic process. So first let us see adiabatic compression process, that is 1 to 2. The total work transfer in adiabatic compression process is equal to, so here once again observe the PV diagram. So this is our PV diagram. So we can split these all these 1 to 2 process, 2 to 3, 3 to 4, 4 to 1. We can split these processes. It will be like this. See here 1 to, this is a 1 to 2 process, 2 to 3, 3 to 4 and 4 to 1. So if we combine all these diagrams, so we can get this diagram. Okay, right? So see here first process adiabatic compression process 1 to 2. So this is our PV diagram for the compression process. If you observe the volumes, V1 is higher than V2. So here the total work transfer in adiabatic compression process is equal to P1 V1 minus P2 V2 divided by 1 minus gamma. So why P1 V1 minus P2 V2? So here volume V1 is higher than V2. So that's why P1 V1 minus P2 V2 by 1 minus gamma. If you multiply this equation numerator and denominator with minus, it look like P2 V2 minus P1 V1 by gamma minus 1. This is our total work transfer in adiabatic compression process. Already we have derived in first unit by using this formula, integration PDV formula. Okay, right. Total heat transfer in adiabatic compression process is equal to 0. Why? Because in adiabatic process the system or substance will not receive any type of heat, will not leaves out any type of heat. That's why Q is equal to 0 in adiabatic compression process. And coming to the second process, constant pressure process, that is 2 to 3. So here this is 2 to 3 is PV diagram. So if you observe the volume V3 and V2, V3 is higher than V2. So that's why total work transfer in constant pressure process is equal to P into V3 minus V2. This already we have derived this equation in first unit in constant pressure process. Once again see that derivation. So here P into V3 minus V2. So next total work heat transfer in constant pressure process Q is equal to MCP T3 minus T2. So why T3 minus T2? Once again observe the TS diagram. So 2 to 3 is what? Constant pressure process. So here the temperature T3 is higher than T2. That's why T3 minus T2. Next third process is adiabatic expansion process. So this is our adiabatic expansion process, means in PV diagram. So 3 to 4 is the adiabatic expansion process. See 3 to 4 is adiabatic expansion process. If you observe the volumes, V4 is higher than V3. That's why P4 V4 minus P3 V3 divided by 1 minus gamma. If you multiply this equation numerator and denominator with minus, it will be like this: P3 V3 minus P4 V4 divided by gamma minus 1. So this is our total work transfer in adiabatic expansion process. Already we know that know this equation, how to derive this equation by using PDV formula in first unit. Next, total heat transfer in adiabatic expansion process Q is equal to 0. Why? Because the system or substance will not receive any type of heat or will not leaves out any type of heat. Okay, that's why Q is equal to 0 in adiabatic process. Blindly Q is equal to 0. Next, in glass process, constant pressure process, that is 4 to 1. This is a constant pressure process. So here constant pressure process, pressure line, this is 4 to 1. So here we have PV diagram. If you observe the volume V4 and volume V1, volume V4 is higher than V1. That's why total work transfer in constant pressure process is equal to PV4 minus V1, P into V4 minus V1. Next, total work heat transfer in constant pressure process is 4 to 1 is equal to MCP T4 minus T1. So why T4 minus T1? Once again observe the TS diagram. Temperature T4 is higher than T1. That's why T4 minus T1. So this is our total work transfer and heat transfer. And coming to the third slide, see here. Third slide, this is our third slide. Already we know that general formula for the thermal efficiency of any cycle is equal to net work done divided by heat supplied. Net work done is equal to heat supplied minus heat rejected. So net thermal efficiency of Joule cycle is equal to, so in place of net work done, this substitute this one. So heat supplied minus heat rejected by heat supplied. So if we separate this heat supplied for these two numerators, so we can write like this: efficiency of the Joule cycle is equal to heat supplied by heat supplied, heat rejected by heat supplied. So here heat supplied gets cancelled. Okay, next to efficiency of the Joule cycle is equal to 1 minus, so heat rejected nothing but MCP T4 minus T1. So once again listen, so here 1 to 2 is temperature is increasing, 2 to 3 is temperature increasing, from T3 from 0.3 to 4 is temperature falling down, and 4 to 1 is temperature falling down. So here 2 to 3 means temperature is increasing gradually. So means at point 2 to 3, so we are supplying heat, means 2 to 3 is a heat supplied process. So and 4 to 1 is temperature is gradually decreasing, means, so this is a 4 to 1 is a temperature rejection process. Okay, once again this is a 2 to 3 is a heat supplied process, 2 to 3 is a heat supplied process, 4 to 1 is a heat rejection process. Okay, so this is a heat rejection, so this one is a heat supplied. See here, so heat supplied, heat rejection means, heat rejected means MCP T4 minus T1. Heat supplied formula is MCP T3 minus T2. So MCP gets cancelled. So efficiency of the Joule cycle is equal to 1 minus T4 minus T1 by T3 minus T2. This is equation number 1. So already we have derived the relationship between pressure, volume, temperature in the previous video. Once again see that that the relation between temperature and pressure is like this. So from the 1 to 2 process, that is adiabatic compression process, T2 by T1 is equal to P2 by P1 whole to the power of gamma minus 1 by gamma. Okay, so here P2 by P1 is nothing but what? Pressure ratio. So that is denoted by R suffix P. So in previous video V1 by V2 is nothing but compression ratio. Here the P2 by P1 is nothing but compression pressure ratio. It is denoted by R suffix P. Okay, so therefore the relation between temperature and pressure is T2 by T1 is equal to P2 by P1 whole to the power of gamma minus 1 by gamma. So P2 by P1 is nothing but what? Pressure ratio. Substitute that one here. T2 by T1 is equal to Rp to the power of gamma minus 1 by gamma. So from this relation we can write T2 is equal to T1 into Rp to the power of gamma minus 1 by gamma. This is our equation number 2. Next, for the process 3 to 4, directly for the process 3 to 4, adiabatic expansion, that is adiabatic expansion, relation between temperature and pressure, here T3 by T4 is equal to P3 by P4 whole to the power of gamma minus 1 by gamma. So here why T3 by T4? Temperature T3 is higher than T4, that's why T3 by T4. Here temperature T2 is higher than T1, that's why T2 by T1. So if it is T3, we should write P3. If it is T4, we should write P4. So same as here. So that's why T3 by T4 is equal to, so here from the PV diagram, pressure at T is equal to P2 is equal to P3, P1 is equal to P4. So that's why P1 to P2 is equal to P3, P4 is equal to P1. So P3 is nothing but what? P3 is nothing but P2. P4 is nothing but what? P4. P4 is nothing but P1. So here P2 by P1 is our pressure ratio. So this is also pressure ratio. T3 by T4 is equal to pressure ratio O to the power of gamma minus 1 by gamma. So from this relation, T3 is equal to T4 into Rp to the power of gamma minus 1 by gamma. So this is a T3 value. Substitute these two values to T2 and T3 in equation number 1. You will get the thermal efficiency of Brayton cycle. Here substitute T2 and T3 values in equation number 1. So what is the equation number 1? So here equation number, this is equation number 1, T4 minus T1 divided by T3 minus T2. So substitute T3 and T2 values here. If you substitute T3 and T2, so you will get like this: T4 into Rp to the power of gamma minus 1 by gamma minus T1 into Rp to the power of gamma minus 1 by gamma. So Rp to the power of gamma minus 1 is a common term, put it outside. So it will be like this: efficiency of the Joule cycle is equal to 1 minus T4 minus T1 by Rp to the power of gamma minus 1 by, this is a common term, put it outside, T4 minus T1. So T4 minus T4 minus T4 minus 1, T4 minus 1 gets cancelled. So finally it will be look like efficiency of the thermal cycle is equal to 1 minus 1 by Rp to the power of gamma minus 1 by gamma in terms of pressure ratio. So I hope you understand. This is in terms of pressure ratio. Okay, thank you so much.